Hello, I'm Sany. Today in this video, I would like to tell how to run our project Geochemistry Py v1.0.0-alpha. And today, we will not talk about the meaning of every section inside our packages and also the details of how to build the package. We will focus on how can we run our Python project. Here is the blueprint of Geochemistry Py, and you can just search it under the official web page in GitHub. And this is the surface of the IDE Python. And let's assume that we have downloaded the packages and we had put it right on our local desktop. And then you open the IDE Python, and you can see there is a terminal service. And you can just run your commands inside this terminal. And let's see whether the packages had been put right. You can use the command ls, and then the next step we need to follow up is to activate your virtual environment. And if you know how to create your own virtual environment, please check the previous video I have put on the group's documents. And you can now to go into the directory where the virtual environment exists. And you can use the command cd name of venv, and this is the virtual environment you have created. Now just move forward, and then because I'm running under the Mac OS system, so maybe the files looks like different on your operating system, but that's okay, no worry about it. You can just search the linkage I put before, or you can search on Google or Baidu, and you can just know how to run the commands on your own computer. And now I will just activate my virtual environment, and I use the command source activate. And now we are under the environment of that one, and just move to the main.py, because the second step is we need to run the main.py. Why should we do that? Because we haven't packaged all the code, so we just simulate the user actions inside the main.py file. And let's check the main.py, where the main.py is, and use ls, and you just move into the Geochemistry Py. Let's go deeper, client, and ls, and now you can see here is the main.py. So the next thing you need to do is just use Python 3 main.py. And okay, now this is the surface of the first version of our project. And then the third step is to go through every part of our code according to the blueprint Geochemistry Py. So here is the blueprint. As you can see, apparently there are 4 steps or 4 sections here: the user section and data section, model section, plot sections. And I will just run step by step, and you can see what happened then. Now we are just this is the beginning of the packaging, and there is an options. You can choose whether to use your own data or to just use the testing data we just insert into the package. But for more simplicity, I will just use the testing data, and you can just use the number 2. And now we are in the section of choosing the model we need to process. There are four modules we provide. The first one is regression, and the second one is classification, and third is the clustering, and the final one is the dimensional reduction. And I will just run the regression model, and I will take it as an example. So just move on. Now, as you can see, there is a data set processed inside our package, and you can just search how many columns the data set has. As you can see, there are 47 columns. And now just move on. So we are in the section of word map project for a specific element. And you can choose to project one specific element inside our word map. And we choose years. Okay, go ahead. And now we are in the surface of which kind of elements we need to project. So we can choose one of them. So let's try with the 10th element. 10th, okay. Let's see. Oh, it works well. And it will just put the figures inside this directory. And you can search the figures or the projected result under this directory. So it will be put right here. Client, images, and map. Okay, you can see the result here. So you can just double click it and it will show the result like this. Okay, so now we can go ahead. Okay, here is do you want to continue to project a new element in the world map, which means that you can project a new element again, but you can choose to skip it. So we use no, and now we exit the map projection mode. Okay, move forward, because as we know, our project or our package aims to provide the function of doing the machine learning job. So you need to tell which kind of model or not model or which kind of patterns you need to process. Because if you use the supervised learning pattern and you need to divide the data set into X and Y, or else if you use the unsupervised learning model and you don't need to split the data set. But before that, maybe you provide your own data set, but not all the columns you are going to process. So you can choose part of it. And now here is the sections of how to choose it. And you can just follow the words prompting here. And you can see it like the rules to choose the columns you need to process. Let's assume that we need to choose the column from 10 to 16, but we drop the 15s. So how can we choose them? Just follow the pattern here. Can use 10 to 14, and then choose 16. So what happened next? You can see. Okay, the columns you just input has been chosen by the package. And you can see we skip the 15th one. Now here is the data set you select. As you can see, there is 100 rows, which means that there is 100 data points. And 6 columns means that you have 6 features you need to process. Okay, just move on. Now, you can see that there are some basic information which comes from some statistic method. And you can see the distribution of your data set you chose, and it will just produce some figures, and all those figures are stored referring to the with regard to the page we put here, and you can just choose, or you can just go into that directory to see how the data sets looks like. And you can see also that there are some null values, and you will tell which column has a missing value and how the ratio of that null values in that column. Okay, move forward. Because we have some missing values in some columns, so you need some strategy to just impute them, right? And now here is the section of choosing the strategy you will use them. So we use the mean strategy. Okay. Now after imputing, you can see our data sets distribution may have changed. But before that, you can see there's basic statistic or informations as we have seen before. And it will use some statistic measure, like it will provide you with the probability plot to see whether the distribution of that column changed before and after imputing. Okay, just move on. Now we are in the section of the feature engineering. So you can create your new feature. So how can we do it? You can just choose whether you need this part or not. So we choose yes, and we input 1. Okay, move forward. Now, as you can see, we need to just name the new feature. A feature means a new column. You need to give a column name to that unknown column, right? So we name it like we name it or okay. Now, how can we do the new feature? Because we provide our calculators to just do some basic operations, and you can just do some add options, or you can just multiply it or divide it, and you just follow up the pattern we provide here. So let's see, we use this pattern, but before that, you should make sure those kind of alphabets or those kind of like those kind of character exist above. So there is no G, and so you cannot use G. You should use maybe let's take A. Okay, now we successfully create a new feature depending on the formula we just put before. And this is the column, the new column we have created. So move forward. And now this is the basic statistical information of the new dataset because we append a new column to the original dataset. And now, do we need to continue to construct a new feature? Because we have tested that part, so we just skip it and we choose no. And now we exit to the feature engineering mode. And here is the mode options. Like because as we have put it before, we choose regression, and now we just proceed to use the same pattern. I'm sorry, there are some logic errors here, and I will change it after this video. Regressions. Okay, as I have put it before, for the supervised learning pattern, you need to split up the data set into X and Y. And now you need to designate which column should be X, right? And so you need to choose a range for it. Or you just follow the pattern here, and these numbers shows that the data set you created and the data set you have chosen, and you just need to choose which column should be X. So now we choose 2, 4, 6. Okay, those columns are assigned as X dataset and move forward. And you need to choose which column should be Y, and just take the new feature we constructed before as the Y target value. Okay, here is the part of the model selection. For simplicity, I just use the polynomial regression. So I choose 1 and then move forward. For this model or for this algorithm, you need to specify the maximal degree of it. So we choose 2. And then the result is shown here. So we have run all the process of this blueprint. Even if the surface doesn't look like at this video, there is no worry. I just show you how to run it according to the blueprint, because the process is dynamic and we will just put some modification on the current code. So maybe the words or the option will be different when you are running the Geochemistry Py, but that's okay because I just show you guys with the logic of it. Okay, that's the end. Thank you.